Alright guys, so this is kind of an unexpected video. I am in Neenah, Wisconsin today for work, which is 160 miles away from home, about 3 hours away. And my alternator just failed. So I do have a fully charged battery. I'm going to try and make it home. I've picked up a couple extra batteries here. So this alternator is, I don't know, a couple years old. It has a lifetime warranty. And it's not one that's easy to change, so I'm going to try and make it home. So we'll just see how far we get before we have to swap out batteries, and hopefully 3 fully charged batteries is enough to get me home. But we will see. I'll update you along the way. Alright, so I just got on the interstate. I've got about 20 minutes on the interstate, then it's all back roads from there. So I've got everything shut off. Brake light's on just because the battery's dead, or the battery's not charging. And we're 2 miles in. We'll see how things go. Still kicking. I accidentally reset the trip meter once, so we're actually about 35 miles in. We're going to stop when we hit 60 miles and then just see if everything will restart itself. Well, I don't know if you can see it, but it's starting to rain now. So I'm hoping I don't have to use the lights and windshield wipers. We're going to see how bad this gets. We are 44 miles in right now, still going. Check it in a bit. Alright, we just hit about the halfway mark, about 80 miles, and I hit a stop sign, and I can't accelerate. I'm just, I'm able to coast, and that's about it. So we're going to pull off here and swap out that battery, and try it again. Got another 80 miles to go.
Head east on 11th Drive toward 11th Drive.
There's Ford right there. So the gas pedal does nothing at all. Alright, so we can see if we can get this thing out of here quick, drop the new one in, and hit the road. Alright, so we're back on the road. It did reset the trip meter and everything, so we've got 80 miles to go yet. We should be halfway there, so we should be in pretty good shape. Alright guys, we're still looking pretty good. We've got about 50 miles to go, and the rest is all interstate, so I think we can make it.
In a quarter mile, merge onto I-90 West, I-94 West.
This last stretch, and we should be home free. Alright, so we made it home. So, still got a little charge left in that battery, not too bad. Alright guys, so it's a few days later, actually it's a couple weeks later. Gonna swap out this alternator quick, well hopefully quick. You can probably see it's way down at the bottom of the engine there. So you actually have to pull it out through the fender wall. So I'll get this tire off. Get this jacked up, the tire off, and then go from there. So we'll disconnect the battery quick. I think we've got to take this part of the intake off too, just to get the belt loose, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so here's kind of what we're working with. Things getting pretty rusty. So there's the alternator right there. So we'll get the belt off and then figure out what we got to do next. So we're gonna pop this intake off quick, just so we can reach down there and get to the belt. Alright, so from there we can get to the belt tensioner, which is right there. We can pop the belt off and then move on to the next step. We gotta hunt down some wrenches quick, we'll be right back. The garage is coming along nicely. Everything's sheetrocked. Got my shelving up, but none of my tools are organized yet. Everything's still a mess, so still trying to find some stuff in here. So for the belt tensioner, I don't know if you can see that, but there's this little 3/8 cut out there. So you can put a wrench in there. Take the tension off it. Now if you've got enough hands to use the camera and the wrenches, you can just pop the belt off. Alright, so there's just a couple bolts holding the alternator on, one right there, and then one on the bottom. So we'll try and get that one first. See how this goes. If I can get in here with this big wrench or not, we'll give it a shot. Alright, just for the sake of making this a little easier on myself, I'm going to see if I can pop this fender liner out quick. Just has a bunch of screws here and some plastic clips around too, so see if we can get this thing off quick. Alright, so I don't know if that helps as much. A little bit. Here's the back side of the alternator down there. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. My Rally heat shield. This thing's been rusted off for a long time. Just kind of bounced around in there. Maybe we can get that out of the way too. Alright. Let me get resituated and I'll be back. It's loose. I've still got to get the wires loose. There's a one plug and one nut on there, but just hard to get to. So I'm trying to get it loose so I can maneuver it around and Get things loosened up after that. Because I can't actually see where the, maybe the camera can pick it up, where the plug is. I can't get my head in there far enough to see what's going on. So right there is one power wire or ground, I think. And there's a plug-in. Let's see if I can break that loose. Alright, I lost you guys somewhere along the line. The battery fell out of the camera. I'm missing the cover on the camera and the battery fell out. So anyways, the alternator's loose. It's just hanging here by the wires right now. So I'm going to see if I can maneuver it enough to get to the wires. I haven't said it already yesterday. I do have jack stands underneath the car. There's one clip right there. And there's the other one I need to get off. So just unplug this, pop that off, and it should come right out. So close. Here we go. So I'm hoping this is going to be covered. It does, looks pretty rusty. I don't know if you can see the inside of that, but it doesn't look good. La Crosse does have some pretty terrible drainage on our streets, so we do have some flooding down here on occasion. So this thing has been submerged several times, so we'll see. It lasted 6 years, so I did get the premium one that's supposed to have a lifetime warranty. So run into AutoZone, see if they warranty it, and then we'll be back. I don't know if you can see the inside of that, but it does look like it's getting a little rusty in there. And no, I'm not talking about the copper wire, I'm talking about the actual fan blade in there. So, we'll see. Cross is running pretty well, but it is front end's getting pretty noisy. Something's squeaking really bad and something's clunking really bad up there, so I think I may need to do ball joints on this thing pretty quick before I have a wheel fall off. Alright, success at AutoZone. Got our new alternator. Recharge. Go back and get this thing put in. Alright, so here's a new alternator. So we'll just get this thrown in quick. And we should be set. Gonna fight it back in, just the reverse of taking it out, so I'll see if we can get it in place and then hook up the wires. Alright, so alternator's in. Let's just see if we can fire this up quick and make sure it charges before we put the rest of it back together. There we have it. Alternator light went out right away, and we are charging at, voltmeter's upside down, about 14 volts. So we should be set. We'll get this put back together and call it a wrap. All right, one other thing I noticed while I was under here is, I don't know if you can see this, but the dust shield for the brakes is pretty much rusted out and it's rubbing right on the roller here. So I'm just going to try and bend that back. Not a big deal. I live in the Midwest. These things always rust out, but I don't want to rub it on the brakes. Oh, that caliper is... Alright, so I've got more issues here. I don't see it dragging anywhere else. But try not to do too much damage here on the studs. So those brakes are really dragging bad. So the caliper is going to have to come apart too, and I'll see if I can grease it. If not, then I'll have to replace the caliper. But I'm calling this a night. It's getting late. It's got to be 9 o'clock or so. So I'm going to pause this one here and I'll be back in a minute. Alright, so I picked up a new caliper here. Sometimes you can get these to free up if you just pull these pins out, clean up the inside of here, and then grease these up again. This moves a little bit. But I figure everything's so rusty, so I'm just going to replace it. So I'm going to buzz this one off quick and put the new one on. Alright, so brakes feel good, and we're charging just fine, so that's how we're going to wrap this one up. We got the airbag light flashing, but I'll grease up that later.